This is Raquel, and I want to welcome you. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, to be sharing this time, and to be working together as we continue on this path of exploration and evolving. We are really always in a state of evolution. We are constantly making choice to either move closer into alignment or out of alignment. And really, those are the only two choices that we're making. The status quo, if you are choosing to just stay in the status quo, is actually, at times, I would actually say at times, moving you out of alignment. It is the constant choice and the constant awareness of making the choice to move into alignment. And we are always in that state of expansion or contraction. And that's just part of the physics of being in a material world. It's a part of the physics of being in this energetic hologram. It's all part of the process. And so as we sit here, we're now at the end of May, and I'm not quite sure how we got to the end of May. It's the 25th of May here in the United States. It's the start of a long holiday weekend. And we are literally coming up to the middle of this year. I mean, we are less than 30 days away from the summer solstice here in the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. And time is just being very interesting, I think, for most of us. Many of us have noticed the shifts in time. Time seems to be more circular in our awareness. And of course, time is not real. It's only an expression in this linear reality that we live in. And what we're noticing is that time is becoming more circular. Time is shifting. Our perceptions around time are shifting. And with each decision we make, with each alignment that we make, with every time we make the choice to stay true to our hearts, true to what we want to create, staying outside of the chaos of what's going on in the world and staying true to our own sovereign being, staying true to our own heart, and making decisions and choices along that line, that is a different timeline. It's different kind of time. And so we talk about how time is shifting. The perception around time is shifting, and it seems to be looping. It seems to go spherical. It's not as linear for many of us. And as we align more fully to our sovereign being, our truth into alignment, into our highest potential, the time is looping even more. And I'm not even sure what I'm saying with that looping. It's going spherical. It's not as linear as we have experienced in the past. And that is because we are aligning more and more and more to our truth. And when we do that, when we stay aligned to higher frequencies, to the truth of who we are outside of this particular 3D experience, as we align and pull in that energy, it does, in a way, change time. And so the more that you're seeing this, I didn't see this coming at all. This is interesting. The more that we're seeing this, the more that we're going, how the heck did we get to June already? It's next week. Where did the year go? What's happening with time? Sometimes that can be a really fabulous indicator that you are aligning and breaking free from the linear expression that is going on, and those quote unquote timelines, and being stuck in the matrix. if you will. And when I talk about the matrix for society, we're talking about the templates of light, the ways, the expression of the energy that is for the masses right now. And of course, we have our own matrix of energy that is our own fields, our own templates of light. And as we continue to really go with our heart, to live from our heart, to align to our highest potential, to continue to make that choice moment by moment by moment to align to a different reality than we're seeing in the outer world, a different experience, choosing to have a different experience and perception of what is happening. The more we are breaking free from the timelines that are holding the world, mass consciousness, most of humanity in a locked, fixed experience, the more that we choose to align with our own hearts, our own destiny, our own truth, our sovereignty as multidimensional beings of light, the more we're seeing the way that time is shifting. And we're also, part of this also is the placement in the cosmos, of course, because as we move through the cosmos, are the elliptical, the way that the earth is actually rotating, and the magnetic fields continuing to shift. It all plays a part into being able to break through. And time is one of the elements, if you will, one of the indicators of really noticing when you're starting to break massive patterns. So it's interesting. I didn't expect to go on this this topic this morning. This is very interesting. So many of you must be experiencing it for me to be having this dialogue right now. You might be experiencing the shift in your awareness around time. And so I want to applaud you if you are experiencing this or if you've had glimpses of it, because it means that you are really breaking the patterns that hold the status quo. And that's what we're here to do. We are absolutely here to break the status quo of what has been the mundane awareness or lack of awareness for humanity for thousands and thousands of years. And so we are breaking the mold. We are breaking the chain. And this is making it possible for us to learn to create in new ways, to tap into our innate knowing of how to create a reality that is outside of this time spectrum, this wavelength, this monotony and I don't want to use the word monotony, but the way in which the rest of the world perceives. And so it is opening up the potentiality to create from a different level. And it all has to come from the heart center. It has to come from that connection to knowing you are so much more than what this physical reality wants you to believe. You are the multidimensional master in a physical expression. And the more that we align to our heart and our sovereignty, and we move out of the illusion that all of this is real and all that can be in this reality, and tap into the creative nature that we naturally are, and choose in every moment to align to something different, something higher, something more, again, is the word I keep hearing. More. We're able to tap in and do more of what it is that makes our hearts sing, which brings joy, which brings happiness, which brings connection with source energy and to each other. New ways of connecting with humanity, with friends, family, people, experiences, because we are moving into a spherical experience, not past, present, and future, as much as living truly in the now moment and being able to tap in to all of the energies that align with the highest potential in that now moment. Woo, this is intense, people. So just take a deep breath. So here we are, and it feels as if, well, from this dialogue, from what's being spoken at the moment, I would venture to guess there's a shift that is coming in the next couple of weeks that is going to align us much more to this spherical time, or a better way to put it, breaking us from the linear time understanding. And it's going to be, of course, gradual, because our conscious mind can't handle a true break from that patterning. It has to be built in small increments so that we can wrap our mind around it, our personality around it. But there is the clues right now, and especially with the lost time, the many of you may be experiencing, like I have been lately, that time is expanding as well. What seemed like a minute 2 years ago is exponentially different in my awareness. And so being able to stretch time, to be able to really sit without time movement. And a really fun way to recognize that is actually by looking at the clocks and noticing that it hasn't moved, yet you've experienced so much more of that 4-letter word we call time. So this is interesting. It's very exciting. And apparently there is a shift coming in the cosmos to open up more around our experience with time. And the key to this is actually aligning to your truth, to your heart, and making those choices more and more and more. Many of us, I would say, probably spend 50% of our day, I hope, 50% of our day truly making that choice. And now it's time to multiply that, or expand that by half again, so that we're doing actually 3/4 of our day, our waking state, of making those choices to align what feels appropriate, what feels right, noticing even more every step that feels away from that truth. That's another way to even really expand the awareness of when you're out of alignment. And sometimes knowing you're out is even easier than knowing that you're in. Because we all know when we make the choice that is out of alignment. We all know when we acquiesce to someone else's desires, when we make a choice that is not in alignment. And so many of us are forgetting to even ask the question of how it can shift, how it can change, how it can all be a win-win-win situation for everyone, because the status quo is so ingrained. And so the challenge, or the opportunity right now, is to allow yourself to really ask the question, am I doing this out of habit? Is there a win-win-win opportunity? Is there a way to shift what we think of as the status quo in our lives to truly make it a win-win-win, but move out of the experience we're having? Many of us are forgetting to ask that question. And so with this shift that is coming, with the time differential, that the way it's differential, I'm not sure that's the correct wording. But the way that time is changing in our awareness and going more spherical, it brings up an opportunity to change what we think is the status quo, to ask the question, to really think outside the box in our mundane experience. To really open up and change our reality. And sometimes it's the smallest decisions, the smallest changes that open up. They are the portal that opens up to a completely different experience. And so many of us also, and this is something to keep in mind, many of us think it has to be the big thing that is going to shift the reality. And in truth, it's the 100 little things that add up to. It's like the old saying as well, the baby steps that really make the difference, that change the reality. So, wherever we're sitting in the cosmos right now, what is going on right now? This is the opportunity. And we are massive co-creators. We are truly masters at this. And there's more and more opportunity to tap into that awareness within the center of your heart, because that is your portal to the divine. That is your portal to all that is. And it is within that heart connection. It is within that center point in the center of your experience that is this physical reality, that is the portal that opens you up to those new potentials. So living from the heart, I've spoken about this for a decade now. Dropping down into the heart, making that connection, living, listening, experiencing your life from that location of your body. And it's so much more than the metaphor, guys. It's not a metaphor for being kind. Living from the heart is an operational space within your divine matrix that changes the frequency and the movement of energy in and out of the void, in and out of the quantum field, into your matrix and into your reality. So when we talk about living from the heart, understand it is a mechanism that drives your entire energy experience within this reality. So moving down into the heart, living from the heart, and opening up and asking those questions. What can I shift? What is the small step that would bring me into a better alignment? How do I look at the situation that is a continuous, ongoing, mundane experience that feels out of alignment? And what is the win-win-win? How can it slightly be shifted that still completes, that's not the word. It satisfies all of the players, if you will, everyone involved, into a win-win, but you can shift the energy and it become more aligned. So that is what we are pondering in this particular time and space, as we go into this energy, and whatever is coming in the next couple of weeks. That opening to change the way you perceive time is even going to expand. So keep that in your awareness and watch for the clues of the expanded time, the understanding of time, the shift of time, the illusion going away, and experiencing it from a different level of consciousness.